Hey everyone, this is Mr. Karn, and I'm going to go over quickly with you the 5 steps to success of note taking. So the purpose of this whole little video here is to demonstrate your understanding of the 5 phases of the focused note taking process. So here are your 5 steps, and you all will have a sheet of this, copy of this. So the first step is obviously taking the notes. Second step is processing. Third step is connecting your thinking. Fourth is summarizing and reflecting on your learning. And then finally, the fifth step, the final step, is applying the learning. So your guiding principles. So these are things that you can always follow when taking notes. It must be taught. So that's why we're teaching you at this point, because if we don't teach you a certain style of note taking, then it doesn't provide you the organization to take notes effectively and ultimately learn the content. So for learning to occur effectively, you must revisit your notes multiple times in a variety of ways. You can't just take notes and just put them away, stuff them in your backpack or binder or wherever, and then never use them again, because then we do not retain that information. So it's important to revisit that. And then every phase of the focus note taking involves inquiry. So questioning and learning how to ask good questions and being curious. So constantly ask questions of yourself, your notes, and the content, and that will help deepen your understanding. So the first step here, the actual taking of notes. So before you take notes, you have to establish a purpose or an objective. Your teachers provide an objective every single day. Then you can turn that objective into a question to guide your note taking. So then if you really take notes and at the end of the day you can't answer the question, then you probably should revisit them and revise your notes. So select the best format is next. There's a variety of different formats. Avid has always used Cornell Notes in the past, and then they realized that it's not always the best. So there are different ways to take notes. And then write notes based on your source. So paraphrase, arrange the information thoughtfully. Okay, so we take a big article or a big piece of information and we chunk it down and summarize it so we can really just target it. So here's just some formats that I already talked about. So you have the Cornell notes, which are effective. These are the main types of notes that we use in Avid, but really it doesn't mean that they're the end all be all. So you can use graphic organizers, you can use 2 and 3 column notes, you can use mind maps, interactive notebooks, etc. I'm going to provide all of the teachers a copy of these different types, and they'll be in PDF files. So you can edit the PDF file on your computer, or you can print it out and use it for your binder or your hard copy notebook. So let's move on to phase 2, actually processing notes. So you have to think about the notes. This should be done within 24 hours of taking the notes, and this provides opportunities for collaboration. And it will get messy as we revise, and it focuses on clarifying content and organization. So we want to make sure that we're organizing our content in an effective way. We want to make sure we're, again, going back to those notes and revising them, and then also bringing someone into your notes, like a peer or a friend. Compare and contrast your notes and see what maybe you missed and maybe what they missed, and then we fill in the blank spaces, as we'd say. So this is kind of what it looks like. So you revise your notes, and this can be done while taking notes too. You can underline, you can highlight, circle, always question, delete. So sometimes we take notes and we didn't really need to write that down, so we can just cross that out. Also classifying, and then we can say adding. It looks a little messy, but you can see there we add to our notes and put it in between. Organizing, chunking our notes, so using bullet points and letters, Roman numerals, whatever that may be. Main ideas, less important ideas, and details. So however you want to chunk that, that's the main thing. Okay, usually the main idea, if for example, a PowerPoint, the main idea is probably the title of that, okay, of that slide. So then the ideas just go down from there, or the details go down from there. Also identify the main idea and supporting details by selecting, sorting, classifying, and organizing. The big thing about an advisor this year that we want to help you with is organizing your notes, your binders, just the way you kind of approach school, your agendas, using your calendars on the Outlook, just so you have an organizational system so you do not miss homework, do not miss tests, and also provide you good study habits. Phase 3 is connecting our thinking. This is the kind of the fun part for me, because I want to think beyond the notes, and I want to ask questions, and I want to add original thinking. Okay, so when we ask questions about the notes, we look at wonderment questions. So comprehension, prediction, like predicting what's going to happen, and anomaly detection. Is this something unique? Application, using your information in the real world. So we learn a vocab word today, and then we actually use it in our presentation or we use it talking with our friends, then that's actually applying it. And there's obviously a ton of different ways you can do that. Then there's planning and strategy, and then we use Costas's levels of thinking to question our notes. So I'll also provide it's all over the internet. You guys can Google it, but also Costas's levels of thinking do help you kind of, especially if you have trouble asking good questions, they do give you a guide, and the different levels of thinking will deepen your knowledge. Then add original thinking. So make connections to what you already know. Content from your course or from an outside course, so it could relate to real life, it could relate to another course. Pretty much everything that you learn in school, you can relate to real life and the world around you. So return the notes for an eye for inquiry. Learning makes sense when it's connected to what we already know, what we experienced, or how we can use it. So learners, you should ask questions you really want to find the answers to and truly want to discuss. Phase 4, almost done here. So summarizing and reflecting on our learning. So think about the notes as a whole. We want to summarize and reflect on our notes. So what have I learned? Capture the most important aspects of your notes. This is why putting on notes kind of help us out, because there's a little summary at the bottom. So we want to say what's the most important aspect of our notes, and then answer the essential question, which is back to establishing our purpose of taking notes in phase 1 and phase 2. How will this be useful? Consider how the learning helps you meet the note-taking objective. So the teacher, again, giving you the objective, and then how does the reflection of the notes help you reach that objective? And then plan where you want to go from here. So just taking the notes and then moving on and then never using them again, or are we going to go back to them tonight when we go home, and then we'll review them the next day, and then maybe at the end of the week, and then maybe at the end of the month? So the more we go back to our notes, the more we're going to retain that knowledge. And then finally, phase 5, actually applying your learning. Use the notes for their intended purpose and demonstrate what you've learned or apply it to a new situation. So these are a little bit of like just some scenarios where you can apply your learning. So here you have debates, you have writing, researching, reports, presentations, tests, quizzes, experiments, documentaries, articles, whatever you may want. Okay, so it depends on, again, the objective, the purpose of your taking notes, and then actually applying it to your learning. So again, let's actually practice it in our classes. Remember the 5 steps: taking the notes, processing the notes, connecting thinking, summarizing and reflecting on learning, and applying learning. So this isn't the last time we're going to come back to this, okay? So this is just the intro video. And then you do have a sheet that goes through the steps that we just went through of all 5 steps and then some details below them, okay? So start using more effective notes in your class. And again, I'm going to send out a link for the teachers to use that they can show you how the different formats of taking notes. So now you should put these in your toolbox and use them when they're effective or when they're purposeful. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys around.